hello everyone. We are super excited and proud to have you here with the very first guest in series of our Know the Entrepreneur. So really congratulations for all both the startups, because uh, from the very early stages, I've seen both the startups when I was associated with Involve when we were in the same setup or organization. So today we have Mr. Divanshu, who is a founder of international award-winning startup which is a social enterprise also called Involve Learning Solution Foundation, and IIT-Madras incubated startup called Solinas, which is featured in Shark Tank India season 2 with the secured deal of 90 lakh rupees for 3% of equity from Shark Anupam Mittal and Piyush Bansal. Correct me if I'm wrong,
Yes,
Divanshu.
that is true.
So,
sure. So I come from Bihar, Gaya in Bihar, and did my majority of the schooling there. Uske baad 11th, 12th, I essentially studied in Delhi. At the same time, I prepared for JEE preparation and landed up at IIT-Madras to do mechanical engineering. Once I was into college, I tried a lot of things, various different things, right from sort of technology clubs to theater, writing, and so on. And a couple of things really caught my attention.
Nice.
One was education, where we were trying to do some training work for school kids to get them into competitive exams. Another was entrepreneurship, where, for example, for me, I never realized that we can actually start our organizations by being in college. I always used to think that there's something that would happen after like 10, 15 years of job experience and so on. But I actually saw a lot of young entrepreneurs starting up in college and doing phenomenal stuff. So मुझे भी लगा कि यार अगर ये लोग कर सकते हैं तो why can't I? So, and I also had an idea in the education segment where we wanted to do something where we had done as a project where we had gotten senior students to teach their juniors, and we were working on this model of peer teaching. So we already had some problem and idea of a solution. And there was this entrepreneurship bug that had caught up. So that's how I got my co-founders together and said, let's start something. So my first startup we started in second year of college, at the end of second year of college. That's the name of the organization is Involve. It still continues running right now. We work with about 20,000 students last year.
Wow.
And trying to scale about 8 to 10 times this year, working with the system. Now,
this is amazing.
There's a team of about 35 people right now, and we will be growing to about 50 in the coming year. And the second startup came in as a part of my college project. I was working on developing a robot to clean septic tanks against this problem of manual scavenging. And once I finished the project, both I and my professor realized that is something that we should take it to the market, because it should not just be a college project. So then again, built a team of co-founders, ran it together. And today we are about 55 people. And like Chirag mentioned in the introduction, we raised our seed round and went to Shark Tank. We work with to develop the problem of underground pipeline detection, defect detection, and so on, and also developing robots to clean septic tanks, manholes. That's the larger gamut of robotics that we play around in water and sanitation. And we hope to actually become the first company in India to become a robotics digitalization company that supports cities and industry towards their water sanitation needs. So that's a brief background.
Wow, very nice. I mean, when I was associated with Involve, I think we were just like covering 2 states. But now, knowing the fact that you guys have scaled up a lot, and congratulations! I'm really happy to see this. And regarding Solinas, I was really very fascinated since the beginning itself when I visited IIT Madras campus when you were doing this prototyping of that model. Since then, I'm very fascinated to know more about it. And today I actually came to know that what kind of things you're doing. And I think you have been awarded by Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi, sir, also for this Solinas, right? Good, good night. Nice to know, sir. So one more thing that I would like to know you, can you talk about what kind of audience you're tapping, or for whom you're trying to fulfill this gap that you're talking about? See, like about Involved, I know, but I would like to bring that light so that the audience or the people who will be seeing this series will come to know.
Correct. So for both my companies, we have a very different audience that we tap into. I'll just take about 30 seconds to introduce about both. For Involve, our primary work is with public school students from rural and tribal areas, from grade 4th to grade 9th. And we believe that this is the age when students start becoming self-aware, they start trying out multiple things. And this is also the time when they start losing motivation in their studies, because they come to realize that, why am I really going to school? Am I just like sort of mugging for exams and so on. This is the age that we want to
True.
target, and the peer-based learning model that we work on. Our fundamental belief is that learning should not be instructional; it should be collaborative in nature,
Exactly.
so that students take ownership of
True.
their learning and so on. So that's the group that we're targeting. While Solinas essentially is a B2B, B2G business model, where our target customers are either government, municipalities, cities, or the industry who will have their own set of pipeline networks, septic tanks, and so on, that they
Got
need
it.
cleaning and servicing on a regular basis, right? So with
Right.
Solinas, we have worked with cities like Chennai, Coimbatore, Bhubaneswar, Ulhasnagar, Ahmedabad, and a couple of others as well. And it keeps on growing, of course, because we've just launched about a year back. Till before that, we were mostly doing product development and so on. But last 18 months, we have been to the market and we have been doing quite well on that. So that's the play there. And we
Right.
also work with certain industries, like for example, we work with some of the pharma industries and industries with they have like water and sewer networks, and there they essentially have audits where they have to understand the like sort of what is the condition of these pipelines over a period of time, over 10 years, 20 years, and so on. That's essentially the play that we have there.
So, I mean, Divanshu, like you have been running two different startups now, like you have scaled up like anything, like it became national level startup, or we can say enterprises. So, I mean, definitely you would have leveraged many different networks and stakeholders. So, I mean, as there are many incubators and different platforms like are available. So, like for entrepreneurs, according to you, how individual who is aspire to be an entrepreneur can leverage those facilities? I mean, because we have encountered this sort of challenge for all these years, like since last 3.5 years I'm working in entrepreneurship domain. Many of these aspiring entrepreneurs doesn't have any ideas or any awareness or about this sort of platform, like kind of incubators are there or different schemes or the platforms are there. So would you like to tell us like how entrepreneurs can leverage those facilities? I mean, if you already have been
Yeah, so one of the things I think early on, even before we get to incubators and so on, would be that any aspiring entrepreneur who is there, who wants to get some idea, should try to get connected with some entrepreneurs who have already started up, right? That's
exactly
something that
right.
is very, very key, because the kind of understanding and the guidance that you get from those people is very nice,
Right.
because they've gone through the same journey about 3 years, 5 years back, and
Exactly.
they understand the place that you are in, because they were in the same place about 3-5 years back. They had the lack of clarity, they had lack of ideas, and so on, right? So I
True.
think even before incubators, accelerators that come into the picture, any aspiring entrepreneur who is very serious about entrepreneurship, who wants things that entrepreneurship is a way for them, should try to find a mentor, not a general mentor, but
Yes.
somebody who has gone through the same journey, who understands what they're going through,
Exactly.
right? Now, once you start
Right.
building a couple of them, and that doesn't have to be with any agenda. If you just go and ask them, I need funding, they will not really want to spend time with you. But if you just go to them
Exactly.
saying that I want to learn, I want to understand what entrepreneurship is all about, what kind of challenges we
Got
have
it.
faced, they're very more than happy to share their journey, right? So
Right.
the first step I
Sure.
think should be to build some network of mentors or entrepreneurs who have gone through the journey, because उससे काफी ideas मिलते हैं. You
Okay.
essentially understand a lot of things well there, and this is something that I would encourage a lot of entrepreneurs to do. Post that, depending on the kind of work that you're doing, there will always be incubators that can help you make things tangible, right? But incubators can't come into the place
Right.
where you don't even have an idea or a problem to solve for, or a business model, right? Incubators come in when you
Got
have
it.
some structured process and thoughts around. And to do that, there are various
Sure.
kind of incubators and accelerators that are available. One thing that you can tap into is just look at various good colleges that are there in the country, and you will find that almost every college has some or the other kind of incubator or accelerator program that they support with.
Right.
Of course, better colleges will have better infrastructure, better mentoring, and so on. Newer ones, nascent ones will have things in the pipeline. But once you just research through, for example, almost every IIT has an incubation center of theirs. Feel free to
Right.
visit IIT-Madras Research Park. It has a complete ecosystem of incubation, pre-incubation, mentoring, and so on, right?
Right.
Ahmedabad, there is USEC from Gujarat University.
Right.
That's the incubation center that is there. IIT Bombay has signed. So a lot of like sort of almost every state you will find some other incubators in place who will be able to
Right.
guide you through. But the journey should be that first, at a place where you are in, you're thinking about entrepreneurship, get your thoughts cleared in terms of what problem, what solution, how do we build a team, and so on. This you can get through some general mentorship that you can get. Try to today a lot of access to information is there on the internet. Like this would be one of the series, but there are many other entrepreneurs who have shared their journey, and you can find inspiration and clarity from there. Once you get that, then try to build an informal network of mentors. And once you have that in place, then you can essentially go to incubators and so on to support your enterprise with basic sort of infrastructure, legal accounts, and so on.
Divanshu, for in the same regard, I actually have one more question. Like, do this incubators, like university or college incubators, are helping the aspiring entrepreneurs who actually are not part of university or college? Is it possible, or just the incubators are only for the students?
No, absolutely. For example, if you look at IIT-Madras incubation cell, I don't know the exact number, but more than 60% of the startups incubated in incubation cell would be non-IIT startups. In fact, they encourage this.
Oh,
right?
wow.
They encourage a lot of non-IIT-M startups to come in and just be there, because they realize that while we are from IIT, we would still be able to find some informal network of our alumni and mentorship even without them. But it is the need of tier 2, tier 3 colleges and people without any access to mentoring and incubation that will help them the most. So that is definitely recognized. I think majority of the university, I don't know if there is any university which would be exclusive only to their college students, but almost everyone has some or the other sort of programs and awareness for non-college students.
And AICT already have said that each and every private and public colleges and university should have one incubation center. But now I think almost whichever colleges I've visited, none of them have. They have, but the sake of, just for the sake of having it's there. Yes. So there are the students who actually want to do something, need some mentorship or some, sort of guidance in terms of, from the incubators. So this is one. This is what actually even I was not aware. Other colleges. Yeah.
Additionally, one more thing that I would like to add is, if you are interested in entrepreneurship, if you want to do something, look for a lot of competitions, the business plan competitions that are there.
Yeah.
Because they are one of the good ways to find networks, mentors, incubation, as well as some funding. बहुत सारे हो रहे हैं, मतलब almost every college once in a year will do a startup competition, startup conclave, business plan competition, and so on. Just go there, pitch your idea, and a lot of them are idea stage competitions. So just like they will give you 50,000, 20,000 rupees just for the idea that you have, and based on this, you will essentially be able to get some more clarity and so on. And it is this networking event that you will be able to find a lot of mentors. Other thing is, a lot of colleges like IIT Bombay, IIT-Madras, like just I'm talking about the IITs, but there are others also who do entrepreneurship summits. Every year, these colleges will do entrepreneurship summit in their sort of, colleges, where they would invite a lot of external entrepreneurs as mentors, speakers. They will do workshops, they will do competitions. Try to participate in those things as well. These small things will lead to a long-term plan as well.
Really going to help, actually. And Divanshu, one more thing that, being a student of a college and, working for your own startup and bringing that startup to a next level, I know there were some challenges you would have faced in your entrepreneurship journey. So how do you address those challenges and, how you overcome it? Yeah.
So I think, first of all, this is a very general thing. This is not just to me, but anybody who generally tries to start up, they will have different set of challenges. Some people who are married, they will have challenges of balancing their family with their company. As a student, my challenge was to balance my college with the company. And also I was a bit inexperienced, so we had to learn a lot and sort of do those things. The primary thing is to first understand and accept that if you're going to do things differently, you will have some initial roadblocks, right? You need to accept that. There is कुछ पाने के लिए कुछ खोना पड़ता है. That's a very basic sort of thought process. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि मतलब कॉलेज में स्टार्टअप भी करना है, बट कॉलेज में बाकी सब कुछ भी करना है जो बाकी लोग भी कर रहे हैं. नहीं हो पाएगा, मतलब that's just not possible, right? So you have to think about things that you will compromise, and you have to accept that. So for example, for me, the thing was that my struggle was just to ensure that my academics don't suffer a lot, because that's something that I had prioritized importantly. But a lot of other things that I was doing in first and second year of college that I couldn't continue in third and fourth year of college. And even the final year, I was a dual degree program, so the final year of college, because the seriousness of my startups went on increasing, right? So first year में let's say अगर मैं 8 तरह की चीजें different कर रहा था, second year में वो 4 हो गई, third year में almost 1 या 0 हो गई, because startup, college और friends के अलावा कुछ time ही नहीं बच रहा था, right? And I was okay with that. Like if
Yeah.
somebody asked me today that you had this opportunity to do theater in college, why didn't you pursue it forward as a hobby? I said that I had entrepreneurship to do and I couldn't give enough time to that, right? So you have to be just
Right.
accepting of that. That is one. Second, यार struggle किसके life में नहीं है, कुछ भी अच्छा करोगे तो struggle तो आएगा, right? So sometimes I also feel that we shouldn't make a big hua around it. If any successful entrepreneur or any successful businessman that you will see, you will not find a single one who would not have gone through their own share of struggles in their early stages.
Exactly.
It's a part of it.
Exactly.
मतलब कैसे बोलूं मैं, मतलब लोहा तपता है तभी तो मतलब निखर के आता है. तो
Exactly.
nobody has it easy, right?
Right.
Struggles may be different. So for example, my struggles were sometimes my college became quite heavy. तो कैसे academics को manage करके startup चलाना है. Sometimes startup में revenues have dipped down, कुछ पैसे नहीं बच रहे हैं. तो साथ में कोचिंग करते हुए, IIT कोचिंग करते हुए फिर मतलब क्या बोलते हैं कैसे ये आगे बढ़ाना है. तो kind of struggles may be different, but ultimately the truth is that you will struggle. Have a determination, and this is why the other thing that is very important is whenever you're starting up, make sure that you have a good reason why you are starting up. Because अगर just fad के लिए कर रहे हैं ना, जैसे लोग गिटार बजाते थे कि एक बंदा गिटार बजा रहा है तो मेरे को गिटार सीखना है क्योंकि अच्छा लग रहा है, अगर वैसे करोगे तो फिर it will not last, because at the first sign of trouble or first sign of struggle you will essentially run away. That shouldn't happen. It is inevitable that you will find struggles in building the organization. It may be about team, it may be about customers, it may be about just managing time, managing priorities. किसी भी तरह का हो सकता है, but struggle आएगा. For different kind of struggles, you have to manage differently. But one thing that you have to do is have a sense of determination, have a sense of grit. ये struggle है वो pass होगा, and then better things will come.
I mean, Divanshu, one more question. Like, ये ज़्यादातर मैंने देखा भी है. Like many startups and entrepreneurs fail in their, between 6 to 2 years of beginning journey. What do you like to advise to a budding entrepreneurs कि यार मतलब जैसे fail हो जाते 6 से 12 महीने के अंदर या 2 साल के अंदर?
मेरे को honestly ऐसा नहीं लगता कि anybody who is entrepreneurial enough should think failure as a big thing. Failure होगा भाई, मतलब exactly. I will tell about Involve journey, but not just in like random, right? When we started Involve, in all the youth enthusiasm, we were doing it. हमने एक बंद मतलब Avnish was the third co-founding member. We brought him from Pune to Chennai, and you know what Avnish, right? All three of us we realized यार हमको तमिल ही नहीं आती, हम चेन्नई में काम करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, right? तो first 15 months, 15 days we were like यार क्या करें अभी, मतलब वापस बंद कर दे क्या, क्योंकि मतलब चेन्नई में काम करना है, मैं सब में तो कॉलेज में ही है तो कुछ छोड़ नहीं सकते. But then we figured out a solution for that. We found somebody who was willing to come in. Then we had 2-3 months, and then we realized that the first school that we were working with, they kicked us out, and it was zero revenue, fixed monthly expenses. 3 months I thought that startup is going to die, like, but उससे उठ गया वापस. Right. There could have been possibility that actually we would have shut down, but it doesn't mean that it was a failure. Whenever you are starting a journey, right, you will need to learn a lot of things. Some things will work out, some things will not work out. That's absolutely okay. And especially at a young age, na, failure तो मतलब बढ़िया चीज है. There is a quote that somebody has said, I forgot the name. It says, fail fast, fail early. मतलब उनका आइडिया ये है कि failure तो होना ही है. Just like struggle, failure is inevitable. मतलब, and not I'm saying the big failures, the small things होंगे. The important thing for you to do is to fail fast, which means कि अगर कुछ ट्राई कर रहे हो तो उसको जितना जल्दी समझ जाओ कि वो करेगा काम या नहीं करेगा. Right. That's the idea. And fail early. जितना early fail करोगे, you will have better chance to succeed. क्योंकि हमसे होता है ना कि मतलब never back down वाला attitude होता है. और इसीलिए मतलब if somebody wants to really get inspiration, I think you should watch this movie series called Rocky. काफी अच्छी series है of Sylvester Stallone. I like that a lot when I'm like sort of finding inspiration. Guy is like a lot of times gets beaten up, but always backs. And he says also that it's not about how hard you are hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and then get up again. That's really what matters. Failure तो होना ही है. What is important is what you learn from those failures, और उसके बाद how do you come back again with a better preparation. So I mean, in short, यही होता है ना कि failure is, don't get pessimistic about this, like learning experience basically. Take it in that way.
Yes. And also one more question, like anything you want to tell the audience about startup and entrepreneurship ecosystem and the scenario which actually has been existing about, employment and all. So do you have any advice for the audience?
Advice to क्या ही दूंगा. I'm also very young into this journey, but I think a good aspect would be that don't be afraid of trying. A lot of people don't get into this because they're very, very afraid if failure ho jayega, struggle hoga and all of that. I think at young age, when you don't have any liabilities like this, your priority should be to just learn as much as possible. Even if you fail, the learning experience that you've had in doing something of your own, right? यार startup है ना, तो बहुत कुछ सीखने मिलता है. You are doing sales, you're doing storytelling, you're doing marketing, you're doing product development, you're building a team. So you're learning a lot. That learning experience itself will help you go a long way into their journey, right? So think about that. तो इसलिए मतलब और कॉलेज में मतलब even before starting Involve, I and my friend used to do a lot of things. एक बार जब ये उरी मूवी आई थी तो देश का जोश पूरा बड़ा हुआ था, तो हमने मतलब उसके कोट्स को जो ना टी शर्ट में प्रिंट करके टी शर्ट बेचना शुरू कर दिया था. It doesn't have very innovative idea, and so just like trying to get the market opportunity, and we made some like 20,000-30,000 rupees in profits. तो ऐसा भी नहीं कि मुझे बड़ा बिजनेस में बनाना था प्रिंटिंग में, but the idea was that कि by doing a business I'm learning a lot, and we had our own set of failures. मतलब me and my best friend who were doing it together, we realized that we are very conflicting sort of personalities in terms of business. तो हमें realize हुआ कि यार ये दोस्ती में नहीं आनी चाहिए, तो फिर उसके लिए भी हमने मतलब बंद किया. But it gives you a lot of learning. One thing that I've made very clear is that I will not be afraid of trying things out. And that's the same advice that I'll give to all the budding people out there. कि जहाँ मौका मिलता है try करो. You don't have much liabilities. You don't have sort of your family to feed. 10-20 हजार पर loss हो गया तो कोई बहुत बड़ी बात नहीं हो जाएगी. So give things a try.
And I think last question that mera personal hai. I mean, because I've seen you since you were in IIT as a student, and you are doing all at a one same time, like startup संभालना है, college देखना है, Solinas भी था, Involve भी था, we all were there together. So being an entrepreneur, how do you balance your personal and professional life? I mean, since that day, like I've been trying to understand from your perspective. When we were together also, we chilled, we saw, but at the same time, you will having multiple things in your mind, but you never, showed in that way कि यार like pressure or suppress हो रहा है, तुम्हारे ऊपर बहुत सारा burden. You never showed that to anybody. So I mean, I just wanted to know how you balance your personal and professional life.
I think the thing was that it wasn't that like I didn't have pressure or like sort of I wasn't like vulnerable or afraid.
Exactly.
It's just that I showed it to different people, and that's why I said that the importance of mentor comes in. Like they were like very good mentors, and I really think that if I did not have mentors with me, I would not have been where I am today. Because there have been multiple places where I've just called various people. I've just started crying. I said कि भाई नहीं हो रहा मेरे से, right? नहीं हो पा रहा, मतलब ये challenge है, और वो space होना बहुत जरूरी है. Additionally, there are enough entrepreneurship communities because an entrepreneur understands the challenge of an entrepreneur. So I think one was that whenever I would feel overwhelmed or something, I would find my space in those communities. Two, to be very honest, I have not been able to manage the personal and professional very well. There have been challenges at the personal front where I've not been able to give enough time and so on. Some places people understand, there is a lack of time, there is a lack of mind space and so on. And some places people don't. At that time, it is really your call whether what you want to prioritize. Okay? So that is a very personal decision that people take. There are entrepreneurs, very good entrepreneurs who have been able to balance both things very well. There are some people who have not been able to balance out really well, and they have taken a conscious choice to say, okay, till the time I'm doing startups or early stage, I will not get into a relationship or that I'll not get married. These are all personal choices that people make, and all of them are valid as long as you are sorted, you are happy.
I mean, thank you for all these things and valuable insight that you gave. And this is, I'm hoping that this is definitely will be helpful to the viewers and the audience who will be seeing this, and the people who are actually expecting this sort of interaction with entrepreneurs. So once again, thank you, and thank you for being the first guest in the series of Know the Entrepreneurs. So thank you, Divanshu, and I really actually miss all those Chennai days and Bangalore days.
Yes.
Would definitely love to meet you people again. I really miss Avnish a lot because we have shared the same flat. So
Yes,
we'll definitely catch up and try if you can come to Gujarat sometime soon. We'll catch up.
100%, 100%.
So
And you come to Chennai, Bangalore
Chalo, thank
anytime,
you.
and we'll meet you there.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
All right.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you, Divanshu. Thank you so
Thank you,
much
Kiran.
for this valuable time. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.